Okay, so we'll record this class, and then what we'll do after the class is go ahead and post it into YouTube so you can rewatch it and that stuff. But what you'll probably want to do is go into your view and put it on speaker so you can see who's speaking at the time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody but myself real quick, just so that I should be the speaker here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's get started with some facial reflexology. Let's talk about the liver a bit really quick. The liver is this energy of spring. So spring is the wood element. It's liver, it's gallbladder, and the liver is about like force and assertiveness and life force and about like making things happen. And as we're kind of transitioning from that winter to the springtime, what can happen is we kind of feel like a little bit like irritated and frustrated, and we can feel like things, you just get angrier easier, or things seem harder. And it's just kind of this coming from this time of like, when we should be more in that hibernation state to this time of like making things happen. And so with that transition, sometimes we're just like, just feel a little on edge. And so this class is going to help to kind of calm down that that anger that can come up, but also like knowing that that anger is your life force. And so if we never have anger, or we never feel like frustrated or things like that, we also probably don't have a lot of life force. And so then we're not able to make things happen. So anger is not a bad thing. You know, it's obviously bad when we get really angry and rageful. We don't want that. But we do need to have that life force in order to make our dreams and our desires and our goals a reality. So a lot of times we think of, you know, anger as being a bad thing, but it's also just that force and that power and that you know, that energy behind what we're trying to make happen. And if you guys have any questions while I'm going through this, go ahead and let me know. So we'll talk a lot about the liver too as we go through our program. So go ahead and pick up your magic wand, or if you don't have a magic wand, you can use your fingertips or your knuckles. You can also use the end of a pen that way. It won't feel the same as if you have a magic wand. The magic wand is very good at detecting the areas of, detecting the areas where there is some stagnation or there's some stress within your body. So the very first point we're going to do is a point for the eyes. It's halfway between your brows and your forehead, right about in here, and it's 0.197. So the eyes are the sense organ of the liver. So every organ system has a sense organ, and the liver is the eyes. And so the eyes are about your vision, making dreams a reality. Let me see, some people. And then your eyes are in a direct extension of your nervous system, and they are very dependent on vitamin A. So vitamin A is retinol, and your eyes have retinas and to help you see. So if you don't have enough vitamin A within your body, you may have some vision issues. And vitamin A is also the liver and the gallbladder, really a big part in breaking down fat-soluble vitamins. So vitamins A, D, E, and K. And these fat-soluble vitamins are found primarily in animal fats. You can get beta carotene from, you know, things like carrots and things like that, and beta carotene can be converted into vitamin A, but it takes a lot of it. So you actually do need some fatty foods for your body to digest and to make into vitamin A. Okay, next point we're going to do is points 124, and that's just on the same plane, just a little bit further back, about 2/3 of the way back. And you can access this one by just going back and forth. And 124 is a spot for the gallbladder on the right and the spleen on the left. These are also relaxation points, and your liver, when it's out of balance, causes a lot of tension in your body. So if you find yourself feeling very tense, if you have some like muscular issues or tension, tendinitis, things like that, that a lot of times is just that liver overacting. So this is a great relaxation point here. Okay. And then the paired point with that is going to be 34, and that's going to be right on this brow area here. So 124 and 34 are paired points, and they produce relaxation within your nervous system. They're also helping your body to release and produce GABA. And GABA is a it helps to decrease the nervous system irritability, so calming the nervous system. It's also a point for the shoulders. So we find that when we're tense, a lot of times where we carry that tension is in our shoulders. Okay. Then we're going to work this area right between the brows. Right in here, this is point 26, and this is a point that helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system or your rest and digest nervous system. This area of your face is also called your power center. And so it shows you if you have any issues with personal power. So if you have redness, bumpiness, lines, like, I have the two little lines there, that is just showing that something is not allowing you to use your full personal power. A lot of times when we get a lot of redness in this area, it can be at a time when we're feeling specifically like more angry about something. Okay. So the next area you're going to work is all the way around the eyes. And so when I'm working around the eyes, what I like to do is support the skin with my hand. I'm kind of coming in through here, working down that bridge of the nose, coming directly underneath the eyes here. And right here underneath the iris of the eye, we get point 73. And that is a spot for the ovaries, the breast, testes. And it's where a lot of our sex hormones are made. Our estrogen, progesterone, testosterone are made within our reproductive organs. And our reproductive organs are like a sign of our true self. So as we're working around the eyes, we're also working the reproductive organs. So the eyes are going to be the ovaries, the testes, and this is the specific point for that. So as we're working around the eyes, we're showing our true self. And as we come over here, we get to point 60, which is underneath of the eye on the outer part. And that's a point for relaxation, a point for feelings of love and connection. A lot of times when we're in this liver energy, we actually forget about finding that love and that connection within our lives because we're about making things happen. And the thing that's really great about that is that when we bring in this love and connection, we bring in this other personal, the personal touch, we're actually more likely to make our dreams happen because we have the help from others. We have, working together, teamwork. Okay, coming up into the temples. And actually working the whole temples is really great for anytime you have a headache or you have a lot of tension in your head. Helps to release that. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to work underneath the brows. So this area right underneath of the brows, if this is an area that gets kind of saggy or is tender on you, notice if you have some bloating or some digestive issues, because this is an area that bloating can show up, and bloating is an issue with not enough liver energy. It's like the liver isn't able to fully process toxins and they get built up within your digestive tract and can cause some bloating and gas. And you can also just take your magic wand and work slightly upwards, giving yourself a brow lift as you're at it. Okay, coming back around, working right at the side of the nose, then coming around and working the other side. So coming in here. I'm letting people in as I'm doing this. So if I stop, I'm probably just letting somebody in. So working on the sides of the side of the nose, coming underneath the eyes, right in that spot for the ovaries or the testes. Remember that this is where we make our sex hormones. The liver is very important for making all of our sex hormones, and it does need cholesterol. Cholesterol has been vilified for years and years and years, but your body needs cholesterol to make your sex hormones. If you're not eating any cholesterol, or you're on a very low cholesterol diet, or you're taking a statin, you probably don't have the building blocks to make your sex hormones, because you're more likely to have hormonal imbalances. Okay, coming in and working the temples. Great place if you have headaches or tension in the head. Okay, coming up again, working underneath the brow. And this area right under the brow is really good if you tend to get some bloating or gas, things like that. Those are all signs that the liver is not detoxifying your gut very well. Okay. Giving yourself a brow lift as you're doing that. Incidentally, when you have that kind of like overhanging brow or that hooded brow, that's a sign that you're hiding parts of yourself from the world. So as we're lifting up that brow, you're actually opening up that energy to be more of yourself. Then we're going to come to the right side of the face, in line with the bottom of the nose and directly underneath the iris of the eye. Moving your magic wand slightly upwards to get that liver point. And then as you move right to the right of that, we get the gallbladder point. So just working that whole lower cheek area. And the liver and the gallbladder work together to break down fats and also to clean out your gut. So one of the liver's jobs is that it tags toxins in your body. So it sees something as a toxin, it tags it, and then it changes its form to something that's going to be non-toxic for your body. So it kind of makes it water soluble. And then the bile from the gallbladder is a detergent. So its job is to come along and clean out all of those things that the liver has tagged as toxins. So if your liver and gallbladder aren't working well, those things will get stuck in your gut and can cause that bloating, that gas, and some other digestive issues. A lot of times weight gain is in there as well because fat will store toxins. So if your body's not able to get rid of it through the digestive tract, it'll begin to get stored as fat. Coming right underneath of the nose, we have point 63. This is a point, if you're pregnant, go ahead and skip this point. But otherwise, this is a point for regulating your estrogen and progesterone for women. Also a point that increases libido. Okay. Then we're going to come on to our chin. At the top of the chin, on the corners of each side, we have point 156. This is a muscle relaxant point. So if you have any tension in your muscles, cramping, menstrual cramps, this is a great point to work. Okay. And then coming down just about halfway down the chin, we have point 51. 51 is a point for bringing energy downwards. So the liver tends to push energy upwards. And so when it's out of balance, you're going to be more likely to get headaches and migraines and head tension, shoulder tension, neck tension. So this area is for bringing the energy downwards and into your body. When your energy is in your body, it's going to make you more present. So great point to work if you find yourself getting headaches or if you insomnia or things like that. Okay. And then the last point we're going to do is going to be where the top of the ear meets the face. And this is a point for both the eyes and the shoulders. Again, relaxing the eyes. The eye points are great for anything eye related. It can be vision issues. It can be dry eyes, dry itchiness, styes in the eyes, redness in the eyes, all of those things. Okay, working the other side. And then finishing up by working down the front side of the ear and coming up and around that back side of the ear. This sets that formula in and it helps it to work longer and stronger in your body, but it also brings your body into a state of balance. So with the right ear, we're balancing out that sympathetic nervous system. And with the left ear, we're balancing out the parasympathetic. So this is going to be great for doing things like balancing your blood pressure, relaxing your heart rate, breathing, all of those things. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up for any questions or comments. If you guys felt anything that you want to share, or if you have any questions about the protocol, go ahead and ask that now, and then we'll turn it over to Roberta and she'll lead us through some Yin Yoga. Anybody have questions? So just go ahead and unmute yourself or put your hands up. Blood pressure points. So we're probably just going to talk about the liver today and not go into different points, but a good point for lowering the blood pressure is that 26 that we did. There's a lot of other points. There are points that raise it and lower it, but since we're really just talking about the liver today, we'll kind of stick to that topic. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Somebody missed the first few minutes, the middle line in the forehead. So it's just like right in through here. So 197 is here, 124 is about here. Will this help with fatty liver or reverse it? Yes, it definitely can help with it. Now, fatty liver is, it generally happens when you have too many carbohydrates in your diet and your body gets, or too many toxins and your body gets overloaded with them. And so it begins to store some of these toxins as fat. So one of the best ways to decrease fatty liver is to go on a low carb diet, because your body will then start using fat as fuel, and then that extra bile from the gallbladder will help to kind of clean out those toxins. So it's a great way to do a cleanse is actually to go on a low carb diet and clean it out that way. And then stay away from seed oils. Seed oils are going to be like canola oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil. Anything that's an oil that's highly processed is your body actually thinks of it as a plastic. And so it actually kind of surrounds your cells in this plastic-like substance, and your body can't use that energy. So it's better to use like really good quality olive oil, avocado oil, butter, ghee, tallow. Those things are so much better for your body, and your body can use them as energy so much easier. You can do this protocol. I mean, you can do it up to 4 times a day. But I would say probably daily would be great. We did cover what you can use if you don't have a tool. Use your fingertips, use your knuckle, the end of a pen. But if you're going to be doing facial reflexology, I would just highly recommend investing in this. It's so much better than any of the other options. You will feel the spots much better, and you'll feel the energy move so much easier. I am not sending out emails with face maps anymore, so I'm just posting those on my Instagram page. Folia said best tool ever. It is really incredible. I will say that everybody who has purchased it has pretty much told me that it is a game changer when it comes to facial reflexology. So I will tell you, it is definitely worth the investment. Okay. We have a couple other people that are backing that up as well. Cool. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Roberta then. And she can tell us a little bit more about the liver from a Yin Yoga perspective.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Jackie, for co-hosting this with me and letting me teach some Yin Yoga. So most of the education that I'll give on the liver will be given during the instructions. So to set up your space, Yin Yoga can be done just on the carpet, anywhere that you're comfortable. If you have a yoga mat, I encourage you to roll that out. You can kind of see my setup behind me. I have a cozy blanket and some yoga props. If you don't have yoga props, I would gather a couple of bath towels that you could use and do the sequence today. So everything that we're going to do, you will have tools right here at your home that you can make work if you don't have yoga props. So let's go to our spaces, and you're welcome to turn your camera off during the Yin Yoga instruction just for privacy, but we'll come back to the screen at the end of our practice and gather as a community and share. So I am going to pin myself to the screen. I don't know if I can do that since Jackie is the host. Let's see. Yes, I can. That way I can see what you guys are seeing. So let me get my camera organized. And once you get your space set up, We'll start in a seated meditation posture, and if sitting on the floor doesn't feel comfortable for your body, you're welcome to sit on the edge of a chair or sofa or a little stool if you have one of those nearby. So be creative and make yourself as comfortable as possible in your seated posture. And then as you're ready, you can lower your gaze or close your eyes and begin to notice your breath. And let's just take a cleansing breath together, a full deep inhale coming in through the nose, filling your whole body with that breath. And as you exhale, use the muscles of the body to release every last drop of breath. And then let the natural breath return and feel it. Without force, notice how deep your breath travels into the body. And without force, notice the gentle muscular contractions to release the breath from the body. And also notice that when your mind is following the rhythm and flow of your breath, your thoughts will begin to subside. So we can move from this playful dance of being with the breath and being with our thoughts. And we'll practice for just a moment of silence. When your mind wanders into thinking, simply notice and find your way back to your breath. You'll hear me ring the singing bowl to begin and end that moment of silence. Keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands together at the heart center. And we'll create an intention for our practice today, focusing on the liver energy. Say these words to yourself. My power is enormous and focused. My power is enormous and focused. As you say these words to yourself, feel any emotions or sensations that rise up with them. Notice any thoughts in your mind. And as you're ready, let your hands return to the lap and your eyes can open. And we'll focus on that intention as we move from these different shapes to stimulate the liver energy and nourish the liver energy. So coming onto the floor, if you aren't already, we'll begin with a wide leg child's pose. And you can come to a kneeling position, separating the knees a little bit wider than your hips and stretch the arms forward. I'll give a few alternatives in case the deep flexion in the knees doesn't feel good. You could take those bath towels or a yoga block if you have it, and place it underneath the hips. This will decrease the amount of flexion in the knees, allowing you to come forward. If coming too far forward isn't doable, bring something in front of you to rest on and to elevate the ground so that you have some more support for your upper body and you aren't feeling as compressed in the lower body. If neither of those feel available to you today, you can lie on your back and do more of a happy baby pose, which will give similar stimulation to the liver meridian that runs through the inner thighs. Play around with what will work for your body, and then once you make your choice, settle in. And we'll be staying in these postures for about 3 minutes each today. Normally in Yin Yoga, I like to do a 5-minute hold. But for today's practice, we want to honor your time and not go too long. So we'll do 3 minutes, which is actually a great introduction for a liver series. Let's take another cleansing breath together. So inhale deeply into the body, filling your body with breath. Let your exhale be full and complete. Then as the natural breath returns, I want you to visualize the liver meridian that begins at the large toe and runs up the inner leg through the inner thighs. And feel the tug and pull of the tissues along this line. As we tug on these tissues, energy will begin to flow more freely. So in Yin Yoga, we're here passively, meaning we aren't pushing, we aren't trying to force our way deeper. We're just letting gravity do the job. And this is a great opportunity to explore your desire to either push too much or back away from discomfort. And what you gain through insight and awareness here in your practice on the mat, you might discover it also shows up in how you're approaching things as we transition from winter to spring. As Jackie was saying, moving from a place of hibernation and being more sedentary to being in action, making things happen. So this liver meridian, we move from a place of being still and quiet in the pose to igniting that energy and feeling that energy in our body. And you might find that you have some resistance to the flow of the liver energy as it becomes more powerful. And resistance could show up as overthinking, negative thinking, backing away, agitation, frustration, those subtler signs of anger. And let's take one more breath here. And on your next inhale, slowly walk the hands in and slide the knees together. And just pause here. If you are on your back, you can hug the knees into your chest, just giving your body some opportunity to decompress from that long hold. Notice how you're feeling here, and we'll transition now to shoelace pose. Again, I'll give a few options. For shoelace pose, we are working both the liver and gallbladder. So stacking the knees and folding them one on top of the other is option number 1. Option number 2 is half of a shoelace pose. So again, if that tight compression in the hips doesn't feel good for your body for any reason at all, you can do half shoelace and use those rolled up towels or a yoga block. If your hip is super tight and the knee is more upward, you can give it a little prop. If it can go down low, that's great too. So try one of those two options, and then you'll take a gentle forward fold. And that forward fold can be as simple as just leaning slightly forward and placing the hands in front of you. You could stack the fists one on top of the other to rest your forehead atop your fists. And I will go ahead and start the timer as you choose which shape is going to be best for your body today. And I say today because our bodies are different from day to day and moment to moment. So here in your practice, choose what's available, what's doable, and the place where you can settle in and learn. And this is a pose where the power, the life force within your body may feel enormous. As we're igniting the liver energy and encouraging the flow of that energy, it might feel so powerful that it becomes overwhelming. If that happens, you can back off a little bit, come out of that forward bend, or just take a little break. And at any time, you can return to child's pose. Child's pose is a more nourishing way to work with the liver energy because we're not doing such a deep tug through the hips. And tension in the hips tends to be intimately related to liver energy and the balance that we have there. So oftentimes when we're out of balance and we work here in the hips, we can really feel that agitation and frustration, the feelings of being unsettled, maybe wanting to escape or get away. But if you can learn to have your own barometer on that power, backing off a little bit and still being able to ignite it and be with it, that gives you so much more focus and personal power in the things that you want to do. If you haven't already, take a deep breath and notice how that breath helps to expand the sensation. But then on the exhale, that breath has the opportunity to soften the sensation, to make it more doable. We're going to spend just a few moments of silence here, really just 30 seconds. And during that silence, I want you to create a visual of your personal power, something that you want to manifest here as we move into springtime. And maybe you just begun to see that vision. We'll have time to keep working with it on the other side. So slowly round up, letting your head rise last. And we'll stay here in this twisted shape to do a seated twist. So if your leg was bent behind you for full shoelace, keep it bent and just elevate the top knee. If you are in half shoelace, you'll keep the leg extended and just lift that top knee up. Give that top knee a nice gentle hug and then slowly rotate towards it. So you can choose leg outstretched or leg folded in. And we're really working the twist through the groin here. And activating and stimulating the liver meridian through the groin. There's no need to really crank on your neck to look over your shoulder. Instead, focus on the twist from low in your body. from the base of your pelvis, maybe just to the top of the hip bones or the lower ribs. That's the area that we're really stimulating here. The head can be just neutral. You could even look over the front shoulder and notice what that feels like. If you want to take the twist higher up the spine, just let the head gently follow. Sometimes we crank too much on the neck and that creates more tension and discomfort in the neck. So let your focus be low in the body and feel the sensation of the energy being stimulated through the inner thighs, through the groin. What does that energy feel like in your body? Is it familiar, unfamiliar, comfortable or uncomfortable? Maybe somewhere in between. And then notice the thoughts that rise up as this energy is being nourished and ignited in your body. What thoughts tend to come into your mind when this energy is present? Now, what if you could experience this energy as your personal power? So instead of agitation or frustration, could it be the power that you need? Make the things that you want in your life happen for you. Taking just this last bit of time in silence, another 30 seconds here, to keep working on that vision of what you want to manifest, what you want to make happen as we move into spring. And on your next exhale, slowly untwist and stretch both legs out in front of you. It's always nice to take a moment to notice the difference in energy between the two sides of the body. So notice the side that's just been activated and stimulated, and notice the side that's been more of a support system. You can even massage the legs a little bit, helping to get the flow of energy to move through the inner legs. And then as you're ready, we'll do the same sequence to the other side. So if possible, try to mimic what you did on the first side on this side. So unless there's a physical limitation for your body, choose full shoelace again or half shoelace again to create the most balance from side to side. And then we'll add that gentle forward fold. Lower your gaze or close your eyes, and as you do so, you bring your attention inward. And sometimes we want to avoid bringing our attention inward because the discomfort that's in front of us isn't something that we want to pay attention to. Our brains would rather focus on things that feel good, that are more comfortable. So stimulating the liver can create discomfort. Knowing that can put your mind at ease. So let yourself know that discomfort may be part of the process for now. And you have an opportunity in these few minutes that you're here to get to know your relationship to discomfort. When discomfort shows up, do you push harder? Do you back away? Do you tune out and start thinking about other things? Do you start trying to fix it and make it better? as you become aware of your tendencies, chances are this is how you approach things in life that are uncomfortable. There is value in gaining this awareness and insight here on the mat. Because then as you move forward to make the things happen that you want to happen, when discomfort shows up, which it always will when we're trying to make change, you'll have the skill set and the tools to be aware of how you want to respond. And sometimes when we're unaware, those responses are so ingrained in how we react that we limit our ability. We limit our power. Let's take a nice deep breath together. Inhale through the nose, filling your body with breath. As you exhale, just invite the sensation that is with you to be here. Just here, just now. Whether it's pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And begin again to create that vision, that image of personal power being ignited so that you can make happen the things that you want. On your next inhale, slowly round up, letting your head rise last, and we'll move into our seated twist. So again, trying to mimic on this side what you did on the other. If there is a physical reason, maybe you've had a hip replacement on this side or a knee replacement, and your body just isn't able to do the same, then do what's workable and manageable for your body. Giving that top knee a gentle hug. And again, twisting from low to about mid-torso here. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And if closing your eyes makes your experience overwhelming, then just keep the eyes gently open. But I encourage you to narrow your lens, maybe finding one object to settle your gaze on. And that just helps to reduce the stimulation from your outward environment. And when the outward environment is less of a stimulant, the brain will start to look inward, which is what we want. So we want that internal awareness, the opportunity to be curious, to investigate, to explore. And anytime you need a break, you can take that break. You can move into child's pose. We're going to stretch the silence on this side so that you can really complete this image of what it is you're wanting. The action that you want to take as we move into spring. Fill in every detail. Maybe using colors or sounds, pictures or words. Taking a moment of silence here. On your next exhale, slowly untwist and sit with your legs stretched out in front of you. Pause here and again, just check in. How are things feeling physically? Notice any mental sensation or activity that's happening in your brain. And notice your overall energy. How is it being affected as we nourish the liver meridian and stimulate some of those points? Next, we'll come into Sphinx pose. This will be our last Yin Yoga shape for today, and I'll give you a few choices here. If you have a firm cushion from the sofa or maybe your bed, you can put that in front of you. And this is to help elevate you. So we're just doing a mild back bend here. For me, this is mild, but for you, it might be too much. So if your lower back tends to be delicate, start low on the floor, stacking one hand atop the other. Put lots of space between your feet because that gives your sacrum more space. And when the sacrum has more space and it's less compressed, these gentle back bends will feel better. And then as you're ready, you could come up a little higher, maybe just onto your forearms. If you don't have any cushions or anything and you want to go higher, you can bring the hands out in front of you. Or as I showed at the very beginning, you could use a cushion to prop you up. I'll go ahead and start the time as you explore what's going to be best for your body. Think of the muscles in the back of the body now as a curtain draping from your shoulders to your lower back. So those tissues are soft. We're not really trying to engage the muscles by lifting the heart as you would in a typical yoga pose. So to be more passive, just think of those muscles draping down the back. Soften your gaze or close your eyes. And this pose with the legs open or a gentle tug on that liver meridian, as well as through the center of the body. But we're also nourishing the kidney energy here. And the kidney energy helps to calm and relax and restore. So similar to the way we circle the ears to kind of set in the work with our magic wand, this final pose is helping us to set the work into our body with a little more nourishment from the kidney energy. And the liver and kidney meridians run very close to each other through the inner legs. Let's find a way now to move into silence and complete the image of what it is you're going to manifest for yourself. What is it you want to spring forward into as we leave winter behind? And how can the power within your body, power that's ignited through the liver energy, help you manifest that? Moving into silence now, completing this picture, this desire. Your next exhale, if you have been lifted up high, move anything that was assisting you out of the way and just rest with your forehead atop your hands, taking some deep cleansing breaths into the lower back now. Nourishing the flow of the kidney energy here, massaging the tissues in the low back, and helping to restore balance to the body, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Move slowly to transition. We'll end with one last child's pose. So come up to all fours first. After that long back bend, it's important to just balance out the tissues in the low back. So move slower than you think you might need to when we go from the longer holds to the opposite direction with our spine. We need a little more time. And as you transition, just feel the sensations in the lower back. Let your breath be a gentle masseuse, helping to massage and nourish some of those sensations. And then slowly walk your hands in. Use your hands to support your body as you round up one bone at a time, keeping the eyes softly closed or the gaze lowered. Notice the energy in your body now. We'll finish with just a short guided rest. So you can take that bolster or cushion that you may have had and place it where it could go underneath your knees. And in this guided rest, I encourage you to find a resting posture that feels good. So maybe you want to lie on your sofa or your favorite chair or down on the floor like me, allowing your body to be fully supported. This is the body's opportunity to absorb the benefits of the work we've just completed. So give yourself permission to enjoy this time fully, to gain all of the benefits that resting and restoring brings to us physically, mentally, and energetically. As you settle in, begin to follow your breath with your attention. Notice all of the spaces in your body that are touched by the breath. Notice all of the spaces in your body that gently soften and contract to release the breath. Become aware of the gentle rise and fall of your breath in your belly. And become aware of the gentle rise and fall of breath in your heart. Become aware of the gentle flow of breath moving through the throat. Become aware of the gentle whisper of breath as it flows in and out through the nostrils. Feel the flow of breath coming in through the left nostril now and moving out through the left nostril. Feel the flow of breath moving in through the right nostril now and flowing out through the right nostril. Now feel the flow of breath coming in through the right nostril and flowing out through the left. Flowing in through the right, flowing out through the left. Now feel the flow of breath moving in through the left nostril and out through the right. Flowing in through the left, flowing out through the right. And now feel the flow of breath coming in through both nostrils, flowing out through both nostrils. And bring your awareness to the third eye. As you settle your awareness here, bring back to mind the vision that you've created. This is the vision you can carry off of the mat and into your life as we transition to spring. As you're ready, you can deepen the breath to begin to awaken the body. Maybe wiggle fingers and toes, having some gentle movement. And if you're on the floor, you can roll to one side, resting there with your head on your arm, knees curled into your chest. And then slowly find your way to a seated posture, similar to how we began, with the eyes softly closed or gaze forward. And let the hands return once again to the heart center. Let's revisit our intention. My power is enormous and focused. Say these words now to yourself 3 times as the truth. Now bring to mind your vision of what you will create, what you will make happen. And say these words, my power is enormous and focused, as this vision comes to life. I invite you to take your power and focus forward with you as you move into your day and the days ahead, so that your vision becomes your truth. Namaste. Namaste means the light and the love and the joy in me, see the light and the love and the joy in you. So thank you so much for letting me guide you in this Yin Yoga session. I'm going to come back to the screen. I invite you to do the same. If you'd like to turn your cameras back on, we can come together in community and share if you feel like you would like to share. I would love to hear from you, whether that's through the microphone or the chat. Just let me know how your body is feeling. If you would like to share your vision, anytime we put our vision out into the world, it becomes more possible, more real. So instead of keeping it to yourself, I encourage and invite you to share it with our community here.
Well, I felt really good, that's for sure.
Now, Jackie, I know you haven't really done a lot of yoga, so I would love to just hear from your perspective.
Yeah, I actually have done quite a bit of yoga, but I've only done Yin Yoga once.
Okay.
And I wish I had had more of a description of doing it prior to doing it, because I had no idea, what it was. And so when I was holding these poses for 5 minutes at a time, I was like, is this ever gonna end? But with this, the 3 minutes was actually perfect for, I think, a beginner, because I was definitely felt the tension, the tightness, and I felt it kind of slowly relax. But I did feel that like kind of that frustration come up
Mm.
during it, which you had said would happen with doing the liver series, that can be common to have
Yeah,
that frustration and that impatience come up.
yeah. And so how did you deal with that when it showed up for you?
I think just knowing that that was, that's what we were working on too, was just, okay, this is normal. This is, working some stuff out. So for me, that was just like, okay, just sit with it, be with it, don't give up.
Yeah, it's part of the process, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have questions that you would like to ask of some of the group members here?
Yeah. Just if anybody can comment on how they felt or what they noticed, or if you felt, did you feel some of that anger and frustration come up, or did it feel relaxing, or how did that feel for you? We already said, thanks for the great energy today. I needed this morning. Yeah, what really went through my mind was like, I should be doing some of these things every day. Just
Yeah,
because even just that last one where we were just like the low back, I was like, oh, that just felt so good. When we were done and getting out of it was a little tough, but
yeah. I always say you kind of go into it feeling like a little bit of resistance, and then you get to open fully into it, but then coming out, there's a lot of resistance. And
yeah.
it's almost like that achy, like transition, which shows up, I think, in lots of things that we do in life, right? We
Mm,
ease our way in, we start to find our comfort, but then as we try to shift and transition to something new, that achy, heavy resistance shows up for us.
yeah. Heidi said intense, her hips were so tight. She needs to do this more. Yeah, that's exactly what I felt. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize my hips were that tight. And Folia said, will this help us deal with anger towards crazy teenagers?
It could. Or it could amplify it, if you're holding that anger, especially in the hips, and you get still, it might really show up. Um,
And then
yeah.
just thinking like that teenager time is that time that your kids are getting into that liver energy in their lifetime. It's that time that they're like figuring out what they want to do. They're kind of separating from their parents. They want to have more of their own personal power. And of course, that can cause you to like butt heads a lot more because you're like, you're still a child. And they're like, no, I'm not, And so there's definitely like a lot of that liver energy that comes up during the teenage years.
Wow.
That's when kids are going through puberty, and so those sex hormones are coming in, and so it is that time.
So I felt anxiety, frustration, overthinking. I'm not doing the poses, stretching deep enough. So that's interesting. So, we kind of talked about that the way the brain starts to play a part in the practice
Yeah,
probably will show up in other aspects of your life too.
absolutely. So yeah, so the fact you're able to stick with it and be kind to yourself.
Yeah,
And
that's huge.
kindness is another attribute of the liver. Is really being kind. So when your liver is in balance, you are a very kind, compassionate person. And so it's interesting that that word kind came up.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's so cool how our energy can be ignited and balanced. And, what you've taught me through the facial reflexology, like I said, when we met, Jackie, really just was a new level of learning for the Yin Yoga that I've been doing for so many years. And I feel
Absolutely.
like the two together are just this perfect blend.
This was a really good class, really nice to combine those energies for sure. And then you were going to offer a free 30-day
Yes,
trial
so
for
let
your
me pop
classes.
that link here into the chat. So I have a website. I teach live stream classes and on-demand classes in Yin Yoga and Gentle Yoga and guided meditation. And I have an on-demand library of more than 175 videos now. And those weekly classes you can attend live or on demand. But this link will give you 30 days for free to try it out. If you would like to do more Yin Yoga with me, I would love to see you. Anyone who does this 30 days free can also get a consultation with me and get what I call a self-care success plan. So what I do best is help people choose the content that's going to be the most beneficial for them in their life, depending on the amount of time they can donate to their practice and depending on their needs from a physical, energetic, or emotional level. So I would love to meet with each person that wants to take advantage of that 30 days. And I would love for us to do another one of these, Jackie.
Yeah, we should do it quarterly as we're going into each season. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Do you have, I'm assuming there are yin yoga practices for each of the organs in the
I
meridian?
do, yes. So we do a liver series, so liver and gallbladder, we pair together, stomach and spleen, we pair together, the kidneys, and then heart and lungs, we pair together.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be great to do one quarterly and kind of get into that rhythm of going with the seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so take advantage of Roberta's free 30-day trial there, and then the consultation with her as well. What other questions does anybody have or any comments that you want to share with us? Anybody? Okay. All right, well, we will be posting this to YouTube as well on my channel, and I will save Roberta's link in there as well. So if you wanted to do the sequence again, you can go and find that video. I'll probably post it later on today. And thank you all for joining us. Great way to start the day. Enjoyed it immensely. Yeah. And really think about that liver energy as you're going through these next few weeks and months too, and see how that power and that assertiveness shows up in your life. And then you notice when you're feeling more irritated or frustrated and what's going on in your life at those times too. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for your teaching as well.
Yes. Thank you so much, Roberta. Yeah. And let's chat about doing a summer one as we get into summer.
I'd love to. All right.
All
Bye.
right. Bye.